Hey, well, welcome back to the ARC Path.
My name is Bernard,
And I'm Casey.
and we are celebrating an amazing Wednesday morning.
And it's amazing because we're here, we're together, and we've got great things to do today.
Yeah, well, I like to start us off with the word just celebration. I don't know what it is about connecting, whether it's my day, a task that I have to do, something go. I want to start with a celebration, just as a reminder to myself, and then I've also kind of learned to announce it to the world. Hey, this is an act of celebration for me and for us.
And I want to invite our listeners into the reality that typically we podcast on Tuesday. So it's not that, oh, this is what we do every Wednesday. And yet, because it is Wednesday and because we are here and because we're podcasting, we're celebrating.
Amen. Amen.
That's a choice.
It is a choice. It
That
is
is a choice. We're not late, right?
We are not late.
And we're not early. We're certainly not early.
This week we're on time.
That's right. And we celebrate that moment. We are engaging the concept or the lens of lifestyle today here on the Arc Path. And we're inviting you to ask what is the style of your life? Is there celebration in your life as a lifestyle? Are you known as somebody who's always late? If you're one of those individuals that if you're on time, you're already late, that's a lifestyle. And so, what are some of the characteristics of your life that define your style?
Hmm.
For
Wow.
Bernard, it's
Oh my god.
celebration.
Oh my gosh. It is a celebration, but I just the the visual of the people that celebrate the grandness of being late always. I just visualize different people that I know that they're kind of walking in with their briefcase and the coffee cup and the bag and this, and it's like the big announcement that, hey, I'm here, and it's this
And
big.
I can't wait to tell you the story on why I'm late. Because there's always a story.
There's always a
There's
story.
always a story.
There's always a story. But the truth is, learning to be good with each other.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things. As we are all different, we all have different habits, different ticks, whatever you want to call it. Learning to be good with each other, as a part one, and again, again, to live a lifetime. Watching somebody do that, is not healthy for either party.
Mm.
But jumping into the arc path is kind of acknowledging, going, hey, this is where this person's at today, and what's next.
That's right. And what is next for us on this lifestyle journey of ARC? I want to just invite you to hear an invitation that the ARC path is an invitation to what I would call pain-free living. It's not free from pain. It's just pain-free, meaning there's going to be pain in life.
Yes.
But we can choose to not let the pain control us. We can choose to not let, and another element of pain is fear. And we acknowledge those things on the arc path. So that if pain or fear come up, we go, I acknowledge it. And then we move into healing. When we release it, we move into restoration and we build new habits and structures upon it. And then we celebrate the kingdom moment. I highlight that because really what I find is there are individuals that have a lifestyle of pain. There are individuals that have a lifestyle of fear, and it's gripped them. It's controlling them. It is the narrative that they speak of and focus on most of the time. And we want to move in a different direction today.
Yes.
Again, I set it up at the beginning because I want to be clear and even a bit cautious. We aren't saying pain is just mental or a construct that doesn't exist. No, there's pain.
There's pain.
I read a Facebook post of a friend this morning, and I went, "Wow, he's been in a lot of pain, and I didn't even know."
Yeah.
And just that reality of going, okay, it's real. Now, at the same time, the conclusion to the post was for him, "Hey, I just wanted you to know that I'm not giving up."
Mm.
And appreciate your prayers, appreciate the journey. Let's get together and talk about how to overcome. And I thought, amen. So what is your lifestyle as pain and fear are a part of it? Do those fuel you to reach for more? Do they inspire you to recognize that there is purpose and there's passion that's waiting to emerge? Or do they hold you back? Do they slow you down? Or do they keep you stuck?
So we're 5 minutes into the podcast, and we appreciate your patience because we haven't announced the topic yet because it's not
No,
about pain.
no, not at all.
It's not about pain. So the topic is about patience. We thank you for being
Yes.
patient. No, guys, we thank you for being patient. Patient with yourselves, patient with each other, actually, we should go, and mainly patient with us. Because a lot of times we don't get to the point very fast, and we want to. Like, that's our goal, is we want to go to the end, and the end is we want to thank you for being patient in life, because we're going to encounter each other, and we want you to be patient with us because I know this is going to be a shocker. We're not perfect.
I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, I talked about pain and fear, but and it wasn't the topic of the podcast, but not being perfect was
Come
not the
on now.
topic of the podcast either. I don't know why you just had to drop that one in the middle of this.
Well, I'm being appreciative of their patience of us not being perfect.
Amen. I'll go with it, and that they get the opportunity to be patient with our own journey, as we want to be patient with yours.
Yes.
There is no expectation for you to arrive perfect, but we are on a lifestyle path of better. That's the motto of AHRK, that we are a lifestyle path of choosing better. And the patience is an opportunity to recognize that I'm not in a hurry to get there. And then some people might look at that and go, no, fix me now. Let's get this done. I mean, why would I not solve the problem? Because our problem is that we get so fixed and focused on problems that it in itself becomes the addiction, and then we see them grow. We've had numbers of conversations, Bernard, you and I, about yeah, this is the spiritual left turn here. But do we have to confess every sin in our life in order to be free?
Mm.
Forgiveness is a gift, but what if I didn't confess that one sin?
What would happen?
What would happen? We're not trying to speak theology there. We're just musing out loud about our own conclusion. Give you the conclusion. No, the gift was sufficient.
Keep confessing.
But yeah, but we're going to decide if that's a big one or a small one.
Amen.
Wait a minute. I think the Catholic Church went down that path.
Yes.
Where are we going today?
Let me tell you. Have you learned? How do I put this? Have you learned to be patient?
Mm.
Or better yet, how have you learned to be patient? From whom? What is your role model in patience?
Yeah.
We know there's something genetic inside of us that compels us to be patient, but we have role models outside of us that have taught us differently. And again, of course, our parents, our siblings, our school teachers, our coaches, our community. And what have you learned? Because what you think and know what patience is completely different than us. It's completely different than the person sitting next to you. We're all unique and different in who we are, what we know. But the big question, that acknowledgement is, hey, wait a minute. Is that something I have to acknowledge? Is that something that I have to pay attention to? What I think patience is? Yeah. Because if you don't, you're going to have this crazy baseline of patience, of being crazy impatient. But that's the normal for you. And we run across that every day. And so the question is, how have you learned to be patient? And of course, tracing that back to your personal journey.
So let me invite us to think about patience in light of two other words. And as Bernard, you were just inviting us to kind of define our patience. How do I define my patience? How do I learn my patience? Who's my model of patience? So let's contrast, come up with your definition of patient. I am patient when or how, so you know that you're living into patience. Now let's use a different word. What about I am persistent?
Mm.
When are you persistent, and can you be patient in your persistence, or is persistence not patient? And now I'm going to add in a third word. What about perseverance? These words they just kind of melt into one.
Correct.
I'm not giving up. Am I persistent or am I patient?
Yeah.
That means something different to you. I'm not giving up. Am I persevering, or am I persistent, or am I patient? As those words, and I'm not here to define them for you, I just wanted to expand the way in which you might interpret or understand those. I'm inviting you to practice all three. to really know what it means to be patient, to what it means to be persevering, what it means to be persisting. And as you engage those things, those are acknowledgments.
Yeah.
This is who I am. This is how I'm showing up. Because often patience or a lack of patience is what happens when we get stuck below the line. And that's why we're highlighting that when you are patient, persevering, or persistent, you have the opportunity to do so with an open, curious desire for growth and learning. And that's really what we want to invite today.
Love that. Love that. And really, the acknowledgement for me was my role models were so vastly different. And of course, being the amazing person that I am, I chose a lifestyle of not being patient. I want it, and I want it now. And even though I had, as I learned about this, as I started reflecting on my life, I had people in my life that were what we call, normally patient, and people that were not. And I was like, oh, that one seems normal. And I adopted a lifestyle of impatience as
Mm-hmm.
being patient.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, it was exhausting. I've been tired. I've been running around. I do probably 10 times more than I need to do because I'm impatient. And it's just this concept that as I learned to settle down and just kind of, if I just waited a little bit, oh, wait, the things happened and it was easier. And so that reflection, I had to let go of a lot of what I understood to be patience. And that took a lot of healing for me.
So let's unpack something that I think it's packed in with patience is passive.
Mm.
Like if you're patient, then you're passive. You have an apathetic drive to get something done, and that makes you patient. There's you can take it to another label word of lazy, and so there's these concepts that come up for the doers in the world, the achievers in the world, to look at somebody with patience and go, "Oh, you just don't know what you're going after," or you wouldn't be patient about it. And that's what we're pulling these things apart so you can begin to go, wait a minute. um, Patience is not a negative thing on any level.
Correct.
It has this endurance. That was the perseverance. It has this recognition that I'm not in a hurry, but yet I'm persistent. Patience is an ability to not be driven by the outside external circumstances, and we talk a lot about that on the ARC path. That I'm not controlled by circumstances, challenges, or obstacles. So therefore, I can be patient, which is a place of control of who I am and how I show up, what I say and what I don't say. And we're redefining that today, that you would actually have a desire to go, what would it look like for me to choose patience rather than pray for patience? In fact, if there's a lot of people that don't pray for patience because then God's going to give you hard things to go through, and that's not my perspective of God. And if that's where you're at today, that you are afraid to pray for patience because you think it's going to increase the hardship in your life. Let's sit down and talk about God. Let's sit down and talk about hardship. The hardship doesn't increase when you pray. If you are praying individual, you already have an enemy that is hell bent against you to make your life miserable. It wasn't the fact that you prayed for patience; it was the fact that you prayed.
I'm going to cut him off.
Yeah, because I was getting going, huh? Whew.
Okay, so this is where Casey learned. That's where he learned about patience. He learned about patience in the church. I love this is the first time that I've seen the connection point of where because the whole time that he's talking about that come from, my come from was completely different. It was from a lot of my
You had that driven
it was,
ethic of
yeah,
complete,
yes.
achieve.
The drive again from sports to work to study. It was like it was this, the Energizer Bunny. They wound me up, and I was like, go faster and farther, and
And then we'll celebrate you.
and yeah, well, they
Yeah.
did, and leave patience behind. And even though they didn't teach me that, it was like, well, how can I go faster and farther and hold on to patience? Oh, I must not need this. Toss that out the door. And
Well, at least it didn't serve you. There wasn't a There was no kudo hey, Bernard, well done. You achieved everything, and you did it so patiently.
Yes, there was there.
That was
No, and for me, but when I got exhausted, when I got to the point going, wait a minute, what is this? Why am I so exhausted from so many things in my life? And that's kind of as I started picking up the pieces, I started understanding that all of these concepts, they're not words, guys. If you think patience
mm,
is a word, let's talk about that. It's a concept. It's a social construct that governs your life and our society, and because we never were taught on that level, and so we didn't value it. Oh, it was just, oh, be patient, be kind, be nice, be good. These are all words, and they're not. These are constructs of life that we all need to have, and all of them, they build our character, they make our character, and this is really why our commitment to doing these podcasts is to unveil what is our character made of.
yeah. And the invitation here, I want to give you three different words that I would call they're kind of the fruit or they're the outcome of patience. This is lifestyle, and I just want to invite you to look for this in your lifestyle. Obedience. Would you consider yourself an obedient person? Unto whom? For what reason? But where does obedience come into? And obedience can have a negative tone as well. Oh, I'm just submissive. Go back to the patient concept of
Hmm.
lazy or passive. If obedience is submissive, then we've missed the mark. Obedience is actually recognizing purpose and a dedication and commitment to
Commitment, yeah.
following something that has been laid out as a plan. This is
Yeah.
what we call the ARC path. Are you obedient to the arc path to acknowledge, heal, restore, and step into the kingdom moment? So, obedience is the first word. The second word is thanksgiving.
Mm.
Is gratitude an element of your life on a regular basis? Does that filter everything that comes into your life? And the third one is compassion. Um, Patience is a fundamental choice. I am patient is a fundamental choice before obedience, thanksgiving, and compassion will emerge as your lifestyle.
Yes. And it's a secret sauce. Not so secret, but it's a secret sauce, guys. It sitting here, we've mastered patience, and we will never ever contend with it the rest of our lives. And this is just not true. It's something that you refine in you, and when you get lost, you this is kind of Casey gave you the signpost. Hey, where did
Hmm.
I get lost? Oh, Thanksgiving. I'm not supposed to be there. Oh, yes, I'm supposed to be
Yeah.
there. That's where I got lost. And so, if you're at a moment in your day where you're losing patience, sit back, take a step back, and go, take that deep breath,
Hmm.
and go, what am I thankful for in this moment? Wait a minute, somebody just rear-ended me, but you're still standing around, and can be thankful that you're still standing around, and that's a moment of being thankfulness. So it happens throughout our day. So as we get lost in being impatient, recognizing that's not the baseline, I'm not supposed to live there. If I get there, great, there's an acknowledgement. Now there's a healing, there's a release of that impatience. And then, of course, what am I picking up as a restoration? And again, obedience, thanksgiving, compassion, are amazing things to pick up.
So, some words that come up as you're picking these things up, as you're defining this construct: flexibility, adaptability, to call out a pivot,
Yeah.
to recognize that there's more than one way to do anything.
Yes.
When you need to be right and your way is the only way,
Oof.
patience is not going to be
Run,
a
run,
concept that you're going to want.
run.
Well, today we are digging into lifestyle, and we started celebrating that it's Wednesday.
Yes.
It's Wednesday in our world. I don't know what day it is in your world today. But you know, we celebrate Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday as well. And that's part of our lifestyle. And we're not in a hurry to get through the day. We just aren't. Why? Because we're walking in obedience. We're walking in gratitude and thanksgiving. We're walking in this compassion to invite people to recognize that there are some very simple things that derail the patience in your life. And one is when you resist or you rebel or you have resentment.
Yes.
Those things just come up and they kind of go, well, I don't want that. Embrace. You are where you are. That's where you are. Now, why are you there? That's part of the kingdom.
And getting to the kingdom element, as Casey's talking about, that is, which takes us all the way back to the beginning, guys. It's, today I'm celebrating being here doing the podcast, and really the patience of, I'd like to be on a beach in the Caribbean or on a beach somewhere and going, but I'm in the office today. I'm celebrating where I'm at today, and that's the kingdom moment, is when I can do that and it's authentic and genuine in me. I'm appreciative where I'm at in this moment, and then when I do make it to the Caribbean, or if I don't, wherever I do make it, I'm appreciative of that moment, of that space, and that patience it lives in between that. And so, hold on to your patience, celebrate it, release it, and just keep being thankful for every moment, for where you're at, where every moment, wherever you're at.
Yeah. So we invite you today to be thankful for that moment right where you're at. If you are contending with something that is preventing patience,
Yes.
it's a glaring stamp in your life, and it's in the way. Come work that out with us in our group coaching.
Yes.
We go through this process in order to recognize that one step, one day, one breath at a time is really the best place to become aware of who we are. And patience can sometimes invite us to see who we are, to take that deep breath and enjoy it. You don't need to pray for patience. You can choose it. I mean, it's like, hey, God, I need patience. Well, guess what? Boom. Now, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to work it out? How are you going to live into it? Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities to grow your patience.
Yeah.
But really, what we're doing is we're growing our awareness of our reactions, and we're choosing to respond rather than react. And so, patience is a
Yeah.
word that we're going to deposit in here and celebrate every day.
Yeah, well, looking forward to picking up that word in group coaching. Again, wherever you're at, join us. Again, there's a time slot waiting for you. Check out the ARC Path for the best times that fit your schedule, and would love to see you there.
We'll be back again.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.